Welcome back to Inside the MAC, taking a look at our Week 4 preview. We got predictions on the way. Starting off with our noon slate. Every game is Saturday. Noon slate, we got Bowling Green at Louisville to open us up. That's a 25.5-point underdog for the Falcons. Can they get it done? Yes, they got a puncher's chance. Do they get it done? I don't think so. I think they could cover the spread maybe, but that is a daunting task to ask Eddie George in his first year to go into Louisville and upset the undefeated Cardinals. They could do it. I think they're more likely to cover the spread, though, than they are to win that ball game. The other noon kickoff, we have Miami of Ohio hosting undefeated UNLV. Miami of Ohio opens as a 2.5-point underdog. Now, preseason, all summer long, I was very high in Miami of Ohio. I still think they can be a very good team. I still think they could win the MAC. You can call me crazy for that. That's fine. The first two games were tough for them. They're 0-2 right now. They played two big teams. They looked a little bad on offense. Not a little bad. They looked pretty bad on offense. Defensively, I think they've looked moderate to okay. Now, they had a bye week last week. Now they're coming in. They're hosting a home game against UNLV, who's undefeated, yes, but they haven't also looked fantastic in any of their games. But here's what I'll say. I think Miami of Ohio does it. I think they get the win. I think they pull the upset, and it's hard to say upset when it's a 2.5-point dog, but I think Miami of Ohio wins this game. I think the week of preparation gets them in the right spot. All right, that's it for the noon slate. We go to 1 p.m. kickoff. Central Michigan taking on Wagner, hosting FCS Wagner. Do I think Central Michigan wins this game? Absolutely, I do. There's not any betting spreads on this one as it is an FCS game. There are sometimes, but not in the case of this one. Central Michigan obviously dog-walked by Michigan last week. Anyway, Central Michigan dog-walked last week at the Big House by Michigan. Not super surprising, maybe a little uglier than it should have been. I do think Central Michigan wins this game. I don't know if it's a blowout. They need to figure things out at quarterback. I don't know if they're going to do that this game, but we'll have to see. Then we go to the 3:30 slot. Kent State, who I've talked a lot about this week because they've looked solid. They have. They look better than what I expected them to be. I thought they could have beat Buffalo, kind of lost it there at the end. They're traveling to Tallahassee, and they got Florida State because Kent State's non-conference schedule is just insane. They are 44.5-point dogs, which I think is a fair line. I don't know if they cover that. Florida State looks a lot better than last year and a lot better than I thought going into this season. I don't think Kent State wins this one. I don't even know if I'd say they have a puncher's chance because of how good I think Florida State is, but it's football. The ball bounces funny any way it can, so you never know. Then we go with the other 3:30 games. We got UConn and Ball State. Ball State on the road. They've looked not phenomenal this season. Connecticut is a 21.5-point favorite in this game. I don't think Ball State necessarily covers, but I also don't think that UConn is that great. If this is a different MAC team, we might be having a different discussion. I do think UConn wins that one, though. Then there are 3:30 games, a lot of 3:30 games. Eastern Michigan is hosting the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. Man, this could be an interesting game. They come in as a 1.5-point underdog, Eastern Michigan does. I think they win this game. They're 0-3 right now. They have an explosive offense behind Noah Kim. Terry Lockett Jr. is that dude. He's a stud. I think they can get it done. It's going to be a battle. That'll be a really, really fun football game, and we might have to go. Hopefully that's one of the games we got to go live for the end of. Continuing on 3:30 slate, Buffalo hosting Troy. Buffalo 6.5-point favorite. I think Buffalo wins this game. I think they covered the spread. They looked really good in the second half of the game last week against Kent State, and I think that carries over into this game against Troy. I don't know if they're going to take teams lightly anymore. Other 3:30 games, we got another MACtion game, an actual MAC-on-MAC conference game. Toledo is coming into Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan. Toledo comes in as a 13.5-point favorite. I think they cover that spread. I think the MAC is going to see just how good Toledo really is. So that could shake things up. You never know, but we'll have to see how that game goes. In our last 3:30 game, Gardner-Webb FCS coming in to Ohio. They're going to take them on in Athens, and I think Ohio is going to win handily in this one. I think it could look a little bit like what Toledo did last week, so we'll have to see how that game goes. 4:15 kickoff. Northern Illinois travels to Mississippi State. Oof. Tough one for the Huskies, but here's what I'm going to say. It's a 21.5-point dog that Northern Illinois comes in as. We've seen Northern Illinois do it before last year with Notre Dame. Mississippi State is far better than they were last year, but I think there's a better chance than people might be giving them credit for. I still think Mississippi State wins it, but it's going to be possibly closer than you think. And then Akron taking on, and I said this yesterday, I don't know how to pronounce this, Duquesne, maybe? Maybe that's right. I don't know. I'm not a French guy. That's not my specialty in life. I think Akron wins this and gets their first win. Hopefully, to see some good things on the MAC. So to run things down real quick, my predictions for the week. Louisville beats Bowling Green. Miami, Ohio beats UNLV. Central Michigan beats Wagner. Florida State beats Kent State. UConn beats Ball State. Eastern Michigan beats Louisiana Lafayette. Buffalo beats Troy. Toledo beats Western Michigan. Ohio beats Gardner-Webb. Mississippi State over Northern Illinois. And Akron gets the dub over Duquesne is what we're going to fall on saying that's how that's pronounced. I know I'm probably wrong there, but yeah, Akron gets the W over there, picks up their first win. Things I want to look out for this week: if Miami, Ohio does not win this ball game, if they look bad like they've kind of looked so far this season, I think the stock in them falls significantly. Central Michigan needs to win with a statement. I think Eastern Michigan, that game might be the game of the week, in my opinion, is that Eastern Michigan, Louisiana Lafayette game. You could make an argument, Troy Buffalo, that's going to be on the same time. Two great games that could be happening. And then Toledo, Western Michigan. We want to see how good Western's going to be in the MAC this year. I've gotten a lot of pushback on putting them over Central Michigan in the power rankings. Well, we're about to find out if I was right or if I was wrong. That is looking ahead at Week 4. Games take place tomorrow. Lots of stuff will be coming your way. That's it for Inside the MAC.